All right, welcome to In Transit on the Elias Macko Show. Today we're going to take a look at the truth of electric vehicles. Let me tell you something. I've been seeing it. I've been noticing it. Terrible headline after terrible headline after terrible story after terrible story about electric vehicles in the media. And, you know, if you follow me on Twitter, this is a little while back, @Elias Mackos is my Twitter handle, X, whatever you want to call it. I actually, was quite frustrated because I saw within the span of a month or so, I saw the CBC publish two articles, first-person articles, from lovely women, and the gist of their articles was, I bought an electric car, now my life is ruined, right? And I saw the timing of it, and then I look at the fact that when you actually do surveys of EV owners, they keep saying that their electric car is the best vehicle they've ever owned, but I keep seeing headlines that say electric vehicles are terrible. And it's not just one media outlet, by the way. I see it in La Presse. I see it in the Globe and Mail. I see it in Reuters. I see it all over the place. So we've invited Daniel Breton, the president and CEO of Electric Mobility Canada, onto the program because I think we're in alignment on this one. And maybe we can spend some time here, Daniel, tackling those headlines and tackling the reality of EVs because not everything is perfect. Daniel, welcome to the program. Daniel, are you there?
Yes, you can hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Welcome to the program.
Listen, I'm so in agreement with you. This morning, there was an article on CBC talking about the ratio of EV chargers across North America.
Oh, I saw this, and it totally misunderstood the chargers we have in Quebec.
Not only that, it doesn't even have the right numbers. I mean, they doubled the number of EVs, and there's less than 40%. They indicated like 500 fast chargers in Quebec. There's more than 1,200. Mm-hmm. I don't know where they got their data. I don't know why they didn't call people like us. But I mean, this has to be one of the most ridiculous articles I've seen in a long time.
Why is it happening, Daniel? Daniel, why is it happening? Because it's not just one outlet. It's everywhere. Why do you think this is happening right now?
That's a very good question. To tell you the truth, I don't know because I've seen that, as you said, in the Globe and Mail, in La Presse, on CBC. And we had this idea that, when you were talking about the Globe and Mail or La Presse or CBC, they were very serious, news organizations with great journalists. But right now, I have to say that I'm really disappointed. The level of journalism and the fact that they just don't call the experts to ask them questions about these things.
Well, so do you think, it was 20 years ago where someone was out to get the electric car, right? They made a documentary about it. Who killed the electric car, right?
I remember.
The EV one from GM, right?
Yeah.
Is there something, do you think something else is happening right now? Is somebody out to kill the electric car a second time?
Well, I couldn't put my finger on it, but one thing is for sure, that, some car manufacturers obviously are not too thrilled about the transition to EVs. So they're putting a lot of false information on EVs. But, I couldn't start accusing anyone, but obviously there's something fishy happening because the article in the press, which we replied indirectly to last week, and we published in the Electric Autonomy website because we had to debunk a lot of false claims on environmental footprint of electric cars. But no, you're right. I'm glad that somebody's saying this in the media because there's something happening.
So let's go over some of the things that we see. First things first, environmental impact. So when I talk about EVs on this program, I often will get a text message from a listener saying, you're not talking about the batteries. They're worse than gasoline is for the environment, right? Let's talk about the facts. What are are EVs an environmental choice?
It is. I mean, EVs are a better choice for the environment. Obviously, if people do not need to buy a car, they can get rid of a car or buy one less car instead of having two cars at home. It's a better choice. But if you need to buy a car, it's always more environmentally friendly from all points of view than a comparable gas car. So that's the first thing. And I'll give you a few numbers, and I think we sent you the article that we published. We had 16 links to scientific studies that have been published in the last 2 years around the world. One of them is global greenhouse gas emissions from manufacturing the battery, but you always have to keep in mind that you have to take into consideration not only battery manufacturing, but the whole life cycle of the vehicle, from mineral extraction to battery and vehicle manufacturing to the use of the vehicle to recycling the vehicle. And anywhere in the world, whether you are in the U.S., in Canada, in China, in India, according to an ICCT report published last year, you're always better off with an electric car. Keep in mind that 95% of battery components now can be recycled by companies like Lithium in Quebec, Li-Cycle in Ontario, while oil that you burn in your vehicle is recycled at exactly 0%.
And just on the batteries, because I also hear from people that say the batteries themselves are dirty. There's cobalt in them. It's being done by child labor. I'm hearing that end of things. So let's talk about what's actually in the batteries. They are recyclable, but is mining them in the first place the problem?
Well, mining for minerals is a problem. So in the article that we published in the op-ed with the links, what we say is that if you look at the International Energy Agency, quantities of mining resources for minerals, not for 2019 or 2023, for electric vehicles and battery storage, if we go to 2040, the number of minerals that we will need in 2040, when most of the planet goes all electric, will be 500 to 1,000 times less than what we need right now for oil for transportation, which means a lot less environmental footprint. If we want to talk about cobalt, well, cobalt is a serious problem because some of the mining, approximately 10 to 20% of the mining being done in Congo, is done by child labor. So, if you want to get rid of anything that has anything to do with cobalt, you should get rid of your computer, your cell phone, and your gas car. Because keep in mind that for refining gas and diesel, you need cobalt in refineries. On the other hand, if you want to buy an electric car with a cobalt-free battery, well, actually, it's easier and easier now because more and more models are coming to market with what we call lithium iron phosphate batteries, meaning cobalt-free batteries.
Daniel, to wrap this up, maybe we can also look at if there is any valid criticism right now that should be directed at car companies. When I do hear a story about how someone goes on a road trip and their experience is not enjoyable because of the charging systems or lack thereof, and some manufacturers who have not invested in charging systems, how much blame should go to the car companies who are making electric cars that may not be up to a level for everyone?
You know what? That's a very good point. And actually, people who buy Tesla vehicles, they know that they can rely on a super reliable and well-developed fast charging network across the world. But when you look at other car companies who had been offered to invest in those EV infrastructure, most of them said no. So last week, there was an announcement made by 7 of those manufacturers saying we'll work together and we'll install 30,000+ fast chargers across North America, which to me, it's about time. But the fact of the matter is that this is a valid point, and this is why it's been a long time coming for those car manufacturers to decide to invest in the EV infrastructure. But you have to keep in mind that for most people, most of the time, 80 to 90% of the time, people who own EVs, they charge at home, first and foremost.
Yeah, and or the street chargers that I use all the time, right? That's how I primarily charge.
Yeah.
Okay, Daniel, listen, we're going to have to leave it there. Come back on the show eventually, and we'll talk about some more stuff related to electric mobility in the future, okay?
Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
You too. That's Daniel Breton, President and CEO for Electric Mobility Canada.